All right, shared that on
Hi,
Instagram
this is Joey
and
Pets. I was Cypher in the Matrix.
Hey, this is Michael Popper, aka the Kid.
This is Captain Soren of the Vigilant.
This is Andrew Lewis Caldwell, aka Jude from Matrix Resurrections.
Welcome to the bottom of the rabbit hole.
Welcome to the bottom of the rabbit hole.
And welcome to the bottom of the rabbit hole.
Hey, all you little batteries out there. Gina Torres here, and welcome to the bottom of the rabbit hole.
Welcome to Neo Matrixology. This is the place to save the Matrix.
That's right.
Hi, this is Joey Pants.
We are live with Joey Pants. That's right. That's right. We are live, and I'm sure most of you have already heard the news. Big news today. Big news today. But first, let me welcome Vesuvius and Scion for joining us live tonight. Say hello to the class, guys.
welcome back, Red Pills.
Pills of all colors. Is the Matrix truly over, or is this another deception by the suits?
Yeah, I'm definitely taking the under on that. But I like that. I like that rainbow, the rainbow pill coalition we got going on here. Shout out to all the Matrix University alumni. I see you. You are always appreciated. Welcome. Come to the desert of the real. Drops down. David Ratcliffe. He's in the building. Yeah, this is actually, like I was saying in the pre-show. I mean, I feel like I'm kind of in a little bit of shock here. I don't know if we jumped in the DeLorean and jumped ahead 20 years. But whatever, we'll take it. So yeah, in case you weren't awares, in case you haven't heard, we have an announcement that the Matrix 5 will undergo production, and it was reported by Variety, who, they usually pan out with some solid intel. They're definitely connected on that West Coast Hollywood side of things. So, yeah, I'm thinking this thing has legs. What do you guys think?
It looks legit. There's a bunch of different sources, and I got to throw a shout out to our friend on Reddit, Killer Croc 1234567, Killer Croc 1234567 over on Reddit, for sharing that just about 9 hours ago. That's when I first saw it and started spamming every Matrix outlet that I'm in with the news. So thank you, Killer Croc. Very nice surprise.
Morpheus believed in the prophecy, and it turned out to all be bullshit. But the Kid believed in Neo, and it turned out to be true. I want to believe.
All right. I definitely want to believe too. Yeah, no, and shout out to DocBot. So yeah, okay, so let's get into the nitty-gritty of, I guess, for me, the potential for skepticism, right? So we've had some projects be announced and even get as far as being fully edited and then not released. So that's a thing these days. And then there is the, I guess, overarching question mark as far as listed as an executive producer in the headlines, but we have a new director. It seems very unclear as to whether or not Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss are returning. That part of the article was worded real funny. So yeah, I commented in the video update, in the comment section, because when I went back and watched the video before I made it public, I noticed, like I said, that paragraph is real weird, and at first it seemed like they were all returning, and then I read it again, and I was like, wait, is just Neo and Trinity not returning, and everybody else is? And I was like, wait, are none of them returning? Are they just saying that they don't know anything? Because that's what I'm starting to get when I read it the last couple of times. I'm like, wait, they don't know anything. Okay, that shouldn't surprise anybody. But yeah, so that's where we're at right now. We're just trying to pick up the pieces, and like I said, I saw on Twitter some early pushback that the Wachowskis aren't directing, so we'll see if that proves to be a problem or not. V, where do you think this is going as far as the whole casting situation, the Neo Trinity part? Let me actually pull up the article just so you guys can see the odd paragraph here.
I've got some thoughts.
Here we go. I found it. Can I make that go away? I guess not. But yeah, your thoughts here. Here it is. Here's that paragraph, by the way. Your thoughts, V?
Okay, so I'm on IMDb. I'm checking out Keanu Reeves. Now, just a side note, I went to IMDb and checked our director.
They put it up already? It's up on IMDb already, huh?
No, it's not.
Okay.
But I checked our director, Drew Goddard, and this is not in his upcoming IMDb. So, we're talking about 9 hours since maybe the earliest leak or release or announcement. So I'm checking Keanu Reeves. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He has Ballerina, which is a John Wick spinoff. He has something called Good Fortune, Outcome, Berserker, and Constantine 2. And we know that our Trinity, Carrie-Anne Moss, is now in the Star Wars universe. So I think it looks really bad for Carrie-Anne not coming back. And, Keanu's future looks to be tied up right now. I know Marvel is trying to get him. We've talked about this. He's got options. He's got options. And without a Wachowski direction, he may choose to opt out.
I can tell you what I'd like to see. I would like to see the entire crew of the Memnazine return.
Yes.
I'd like to get some backstory of how they got together and what role they played in the early days of IO. And I'd like to see what their next adventure is going to be. And it doesn't have to be save the whole world, save the whole human race, save all of IO, although that could work. It can just be, I want to see their next adventure.
And for Carrie-Anne Moss, she has 3 upcoming. We have The Acolyte, which is our Star Wars series. We have something called Die Alone, and we have Face.
Yeah, I believe The Acolyte's supposed to be May. I believe somebody mentioned that in the last live stream. But I pulled up Drew Goddard's IMDb here because when we were talking about it in the Matrix University Discord earlier when the news broke, I believe, right, V, you said you saw The Martian?
Yeah, I saw The Martian. Yeah, I didn't pay very much attention to the director, but of course now my eyes are on him now.
Well, and that's the thing. I'm looking here, and it says that he's listed as an executive producer. That doesn't mean he didn't do both, right? Because I think in the article it listed him as. Well, let's just go to the article because now I'm getting confused. Right. So here's that not real clear paragraph about who's right. It's not clear who from the Matrix universe, right? And then they just start naming people. So yeah, they don't know what they're talking about as far as the casting goes. But okay, here's the resume paragraph, right? Right. So Ridley Scott directed The Martian. He was nominated for writing The Martian. Right.
Okay,
He
Drew
wrote
Goddard.
Cloverfield. Okay, got it. Writer and director on The Cabin in the Woods, which I have not seen. So Cloverfield, as far as I know, is the only feature film of his that he's worked on that I've seen. Now, apparently he was an executive producer on Daredevil. So I have seen some of those.
The
but
series.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's a series.
Yeah, let's make a distinction.
A Marvel series. Daredevil is a Marvel series. And honestly, before we forget, that's kind of my thing. That's why, all this news is real interesting to me because what do I know? I would have done a series or the Animatrix 2.0 or an immersive metaverse game experience before jumping back into another feature film. So that's another point of skepticism for me, because like you said, they haven't listed this on IMDb yet, right? So we don't have a release date yet. So there's room for some reneging and pulling back here. Right. So real quick, Kavion Davis. So the one video game rumor that I kind of saw a flash of, the source that it was coming from is not credible at all. So I will wait for a more reliable source to back up that claim. Although with the announcement of the movie, that may have some legs. But chances are they heard a leak about the movie and it became a video game. I'm just saying that because, like I said, the source that came from, none of that stuff that they say when they're the only one saying it, it never happens. So when it's corroborated, then that's different.
The movie becoming the video game was part of the plot of Resurrection.
Wait, DocBot, you know me too well. I'm sorry, what'd you say, Sion?
I was saying the trope of the movie becoming a video game was part of the plot of Matrix 4 Resurrection.
Right, but we also had The Matrix Awakens, the demo.
I would love to see some video game studio that's very friendly with the Wachowskis make a new video and based on that Unreal Engine, what they called the sample city, because they weren't allowed to officially call it Mega City. But it was the Mega City made for Matrix Awakens demo, and I'd love to see that made into a full-fledged game in conjunction with this next movie. But I've also heard rumors of a widescreen HD remaster of The Path of Neo, but only rumors.
All right, well, I guess we got to dive into this comment here because Alejandro says, are we going to see Neo and Trinity's version of the Matrix, or was the analyst right at the end? So many questions as usual Matrix related. So the reason why this comment kind of jumps out at me is because I was actually having a version of this conversation with Randy on Instagram the other day. We were talking about ideas. So I don't want to get too in depth in the idea, but I don't want to spoil it because that's what I was explaining to him. I'm like, deeper down, like you have to understand, with the fan fiction that I've been working on, it's all connected. Like you're starting to see sprinkles of the connections now, but there's stuff that I haven't even begun to tease yet. And so Randy and I were discussing some ideas, and so you're talking about Neo and Trinity's version of the Matrix. So yeah, I was gonna get into some of that talk later down the line, but oh look, a Matrix 5's coming out. How about that? Right. Right. Personally, this is DocBot. Personally, I think the Animatrix 2.0 would probably happen. It might just be a short though. Right. So I don't know if anybody here saw the most recent Blade Runner, but Shinichiro Watanabe, who did Cowboy Bebop and 2 of the Matrix Animatrix episodes, excuse me. He did a animated short for, it was like a supplement to the most recent Blade Runner, the one with Ryan Gosling. The numbers, the years are escaping me. 2049, right? So then, Watanabe animated the Blackout, which might have been 2029 or something like that, 2036 maybe. Right. So he did that animated short, which was amazing, by the way. It was like the perfect supplement. I saw they did like some other things too, but the animated one that Watanabe did was by far the best supplemental installment for 2049. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. It should be on YouTube. I watched it on YouTube. I watched it for free. But it was dope. So yeah, I could see them doing something like that for Animatrix 2.0, where it's just like one short, or like the Machine Civil War, and that's it. I could definitely see that being a thing. But that was my point. Like I totally thought that's how you play this, based on the box office of Resurrections and all the flack and backlash and stuff. I thought that's how you were, going to bring this thing back, is, give the fan base a little bit and see how that goes, and then give them a little more and see how that goes. And it's like, okay, now we're getting back to profit, so let's make some movie money. Like I said, what do I know?
Well, seeing those shorts will make a lot of fans happy, and that'll gain interest if that's a precursor.
Yeah, there's time for all that, right? They didn't announce a date, so this could be in production and it doesn't come out till 2027. That could happen. Which would give you plenty of time to come up with series and Animatrix and video games and stuff. We shall see. But like, this is a perfect segue into this comment. Nagano says, having Matrix 5 being announced wasn't in my bingo card. Who you telling? He said, oh boy, I hope we don't have to wait for a decade to see it.
Well, yeah, it's going to be a while.
Yeah, right. They just announced it. I mean, now I get it. There was that whole big, let's stop the entire world last time around. But even then, right, they announced in 2019 and it released in 2021. And it was announced in the summer of 2019. So the 6 month delay right there, we all know what that was about. So yeah, you're looking at a 2-year turnaround probably. I would say expecting it to be any less than that is probably not realistic.
I find myself wondering, in Matrix Resurrection, there was more than a vague sense of Lana Wachowski giving the finger to the corporation that was forcing her to make a movie she really didn't want to make. I think she found good reasons to make the movie. And part of that was the aforementioned finger to the big corporation. But now we have people that it sounds like they want to make the movie. So will they still have that kind of subversive FU attitude, stick it to the man, that Lana Wachowski made, perhaps even to try to ensure that there wouldn't be a Matrix 5? That's so many questions opened up by this announcement.
Yeah, and I've said it before, I said it again, I don't know where the Wachowski stand on all this, to be honest. Now, I did say on X, Twitter, whatever, they had the good sense to put in the headline that Lana Wachowski is an executive producer, right? That's not by accident. So, how involved or how she feels, like I said, I don't know how they feel since the arbitration or whatever. So, I don't know. And that's the other thing too. We don't know how that was resolved. Yeah. Willy Wonka came out, and I believe, what is it, that Edge of Tomorrow show is in production. So there was a conversation, okay, and now that they're talking about a Matrix 5, there was a resolution. The details of that resolution, I don't know. For all I know, that was all part of what Agent Groff was telling Neo. Yeah, they can find a way out of it. They can do what they want to do without us. So I don't know. This could be that. I don't know. I have no idea. They don't tell us those kind of things.
So Roadshow Pictures will be working with WB Discovery on this, and they did on Willy Wonka.
Great question.
Still in business? I guess it's just Wonka.
I have no idea. Now, to your point, I'm gonna scan right now, but I don't remember it in the video today, which means it ain't in the article, right? So nobody mentioned Village Roadshow in this article, huh? Yeah, I'm not seeing it. So, that could be something, right? To the question that you're asking here. It would be, I believe, cruel and unusual punishment to like announce it and then not follow through, but stranger things have happened. Right, which is why I have this comment up. It says B166ER going into the war with humans movie called 01 would be dope. And then Randy here says, I just shouted you out, Randy. Easter 25th anniversary of Matrix 5 announcement. Coincidence? I think not. So right. So all right. So then where do we go? So let's take those two comments and combine them, because I want to shout out everybody who took the time to like the tweet. In the last live stream, for anybody who made it to the very end, I asked everyone to, support the B166ER 25th anniversary tweet, because I tagged the Wachowskis, both Lana and Lily, in it. Let me see if I can. Yeah, I'll pull that up here. Just bear with me 1 second while I put that on the screen here. Right. So this was the tweet that was on X the day of the 25th anniversary. And it says, happy 25th anniversary Matrix. Excited to share our fan film, the B166ER trial, expanding the Matrix comic bits and pieces of information written by the brilliant minds of Lana Wachowski and Lily Wachowski. Today, we honor the 25th anniversary of the Matrix. Additional expanded B1 trial dialogue was written by Sion Dasa, Matrix University alum, and the 3D B1 model was created by Comical Realm, our resident and repeat 3D modeler. So happy Resurrection Day to everyone. All right, that was Sunday, Easter Sunday, right? So, in the live stream, I said, we're going to manifest this conversation with the Wachowskis, and that's, that stems from the Andrew Lewis Caldwell conversation interview situation. I played a teaser of that interview in the last live stream. So that was Sunday. And the idea was for you guys to help bring visibility to the B166ER trial to, try to get the Wachowskis to see it. And hopefully that would help pave the way for a future conversation with them. Now, I don't know if they saw it or not, as far as the Wachowskis and seeing the B166ER trial. They didn't interact with the tweet or anything. But then when I found out the news today, 3 days later, I might add, it says, let's review the timestamps here. So, start a Matrix YouTube channel, and 3 months later, they announced the Matrix 4. Released the B166ER trial expanded, and 3 days later, they announced Matrix 5. You're welcome.
What did Morpheus say at the beginning of every video? He says, "This is the place to save the Matrix." We have reason to doubt the great Morpheus? Not me.
Not you, but you got to take credit for hacking him into saying that in the first place, right? Because you assisted in
whether it was the real Morpheus or a Morpheus simulacrum, who can really say? Yeah, you had to be there.
but it was still spoken into existence, right? Like that's the lesson here. That is the lesson here.
Wouldn't it be amazing if someone involved with the production of this new movie reached out to like the hardcore community, those of us who are saying we are still here after all this time, just for any kind of, you know, idea, getting an idea or having conversation or asking, well, you know, what was your favorite thing about pre-existing Matrix that more would want to see more of? That would be amazing.
For sure. Hold on. Shout out to Miss Kitty. I see you. What up? So right here, Buyakasha says, I think for the Matrix to have the most success, you have to Star Wars prequel trilogy it, right? So initially when I read the news, my mind immediately went to like some prequel stuff. That's probably the bias of how long the young Morpheus script had been floating around prior to Resurrections. There's no real evidence to suggest that this will be any type of prequel script, but at the same time, they don't give us any clues as to where this is going to take place in the timeline. Because like I said, that paragraph about the casting, I think after reading it several times, I think they're just saying we have no idea who's going to be cast in this thing. And they, you know, just threw a bunch of names in there of actors who were in the last one for fluff, but they don't have any information, I don't think. Right. So that said, you know, I was also saying to Alias Trinity, shout out to Alias Trinity. I don't know if she's in the room here, but I had this conversation with her on Discord. Just that, you know, whether the movie's good or bad, because I see a lot of the comments already. People's like, oh, the movie's gonna suck, blah blah blah. Sure, it could, it might. I mean, you're talking about the 5th installment in a sequel. How many number 5s are good? I mean, just keep it 1,000 here. There might be some, but that ain't the majority. That's not the norm. So I'm not having a high expectation for a 5th installment in any franchise. But that said, what I am excited for is, like I was telling Alias Trinity, I get so, like, for lack of a better phrase, you know, annoyed that like Star Wars and Marvel gets to have all the fun. You know, like the Matrix has all the elements for us to have done what they're doing over there. And honestly, like, you know, from where I'm sitting, if they never sold the Matrix Online to Sony and played those cards right, you know, how different would the world be? I mean, you know, the Matrix Online would probably be like the most immersive metaverse game on the planet right now. But anywho, I digress.
But when you dream big. But no dream could save Village Roadshow, it seems. In late 2020, the private equity group BGH Capital acquired Village Roadshow, and Village Roadshow Limited was delisted from stock exchanges.
Hold on a second. You came in a little muffled there. So you're saying that Village Roadshow is no more? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it was acquired. It says in late 2020, private equity group BGH Capital acquired Village Roadshow, and Village Roadshow Limited was delisted from stock exchanges.
Wait, you
So
said they were
breaking
you said
news.
they were wait, you said they were delisted in 2020?
Late 2020. That's what this source says. It's villageroadshow.com.au.
But that would mean that they were already dying before the movie even came out.
Yeah, and at least WB Discovery can't screw them now. I mean, that they are no more, but also they can't. Imagine if they did the same thing and released Matrix 5 in theaters and on Max, which that's kind of related news to WB. They're dropping the HBO brand from their streaming service and just calling it Max, which is somewhat ironic because HBO got its start in the rise of the cable TV industry, and their largest competitor was Cinemax, also known as Max. So we went from having HBO and Max as considered and HBO and Max as competitors back in the day, and then having a service called HBO Max, and now just calling it Max.
Yeah, but I'm saying go back and look at the timing, right? So if you're saying that they were already financially in dire straits at the end of 2020, okay, they're scrapping to keep the lights on. The Matrix is supposed to save this company at this point. I mean, now this is totally, you know, my conjecture. I'm speculating. I'm trying to fill in the blanks and put puzzle pieces together. But am I making sense? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I agree. I think they used the social distancing issue as an excuse to release it on the streaming platform, thus gutting the box office sales. And not only now they don't have to pay really anything at all to Village Roadshow, and they took them out of the picture. It was.
That's a pain.
I think it was a move worthy of the suits and the agents.
This is what I'm saying. Like, no. Walk with me now. Like, so 2020, we're struggling, but the Matrix is coming. It's gonna be a hit. We're gonna turn the lights on. Everything's gonna be cool. Then the Matrix comes, and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna need like that 80-90 million dollars right now." That's it. They're done. There's no chance. They can't come up with that. So yeah, that answers your question. Village Roadshow is not involved in this.
Now I may have passed on incomplete information that would sound completely wrong. That was from .com.au. And it seems like that's just the Village Roadshow Australian division. Because now I'm seeing.
Oh, that's just Australia. Okay.
I'm seeing Sarah Dankart on November 1st, 2022. There's an article that says Village Roadshow appears to have begun turning the corner financially, with customers returning to its theme parks and cinemas after a horror 2-year run for its new private equity owners. And again, it's referencing the Australian Entertainment Group, BRG Holdco, the entity that owns the storied Australian Entertainment Group, posted a net loss of $26.4 million for the 12 months to June 2021. So again, this report is 1 or 2 to 3 years old, but evidently they're still out there. I'm still looking. I don't see their name attached to Wonka at all. So we'll just have to. This will be another mystery about Matrix 5. Will Village Roadshow have anything to do with Matrix 5? And my guess would be no, because Warner Brothers Discovery doesn't want to have anything to do with them anymore.
Yeah, they did not give a whole lot of details about how that dispute was settled. Okay, so here, Booyaka Shah says John Wick is headed for 5 in its series. I really wish that was lore. Was one of the Neo resets in the Matrix. All the characters are there. So I thought I heard that they weren't making 5. So they are making 5 now. I'm talking about John Wick now. Because I remember, like, originally before Matrix 4 was out, they said they signed them up for 4 and 5. And then Matrix came out, and then like, okay, we're just doing 4. So John Wick 5 is back to being a thing.
Well, they're doing that spin-off.
That's like a series, though. The Continental. I don't think he's in the Continental. That's a series.
No,
That's a show.
no. They're doing the ballerina. They're doing the ballerina. I believe it's a movie.
Oh, that's the film with the girl, right?
Yes.
And he's in that? Keanu's in that?
And Keanu will appear. Yes, he will.
Yeah, and like you said, if he's doing that and Constantine 5, which I'm actually really excited for, we're kind of back in that. How much availability does Keanu actually have space? But I am excited for Constantine.
It would take Matrix 5 to get me back into the theater, especially if it's available in IMAX in the nearest city. We'll go in IMAX, but unlike for Resurrections, this time I will sit in the exact center of the laser aimed sound system instead of being booked into a corner seat because one of my friends needs to be near the restrooms. I will sit in the exact center and hope that they have good sound engineers and sound editors, and that the sound is more like the first three movies than the fourth one. Although now I'm getting very curious about the sound on the fourth one, and I think it is due a rewatch with a tuned up surround sound system, and see if they actually, put the level of attention that I feel is necessary for a Matrix movie into the sound editing. It's the sound, especially the mixing, the directional mixing and the sound for the first three movies has tremendous appeal for me. I'd rather not watch them than watch them without the theater sound, the first three movies. I guess that's another expectation. I want Matrix 5 to have really badass sound mixing for if I'm gonna go to the theater.
Well, V, you were there earlier, right? In Matrix University, somebody said that it's definitely going to be an only theatrical release. Like they're not doing that BS, streaming hybrid release crap. It should be just in the theater when it drops. So
yeah, it'll be just theaters as of now. I think that experiment failed, and I think streaming needed to go through that growing pain to become what it's going to become.
And the situation, people were scared and nobody knew what to do, and like I said, when you talk about the timeline of all the paperwork and stuff, there might be some Agent Groff in some of that. like if we keeping it all the way 1,000, but yeah, Docbot, I'd like to see that too. Like I said, I'd love to see somewhere in all of this us getting the machine civil war or more of that. And I say that even though I get it, it's not the Terminator Future War, but I think that's I mean, it could be like when I say machine civil war, I'm talking about in the Resurrections era. But I mean, we could even go back and further expand the second Renaissance. Somebody mentioned B1 leading the charge, although B1660R was disassembled after being found guilty. But I get the sentiment. Many of us in this sci-fi space are all about, that cyberpunk war scene that we never really got to see yet. And yeah, so I think that's something that I'd like to see. Like I said, that kind of thing doesn't have to be in Matrix 5. Like I'm sure I could get my fill of that in an Animatrix type situation or a series or something like that. But I mean, that's the thing, man. They can do so many different things. Like you don't have to focus on one in any one area. And that was part of the other conversation I had with Alias Trinity, just that they should have been on this 15 years ago in terms of like really expanding the universe. you know, we're here now. So, you know, unless you got the keys to the DeLorean, you can't go back. But what I will say is, you know, trying to prop up Batman to be that guy, nah, it's not going to happen. There's not the universe isn't big enough. It's just not. It's not. You know, you can do all the what's that? What's the
Rogues Gallery.
I'm sorry. I was thinking
Gallery.
I was thinking of like Suicide Squad, where they just kind of like try to mash up different DC characters and stuff.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, it's not the same. Like, it's not. So if you guys are trying to keep up with them, you gotta expand this Matrix universe. You know?
Well, in their defense, I will say that I think that they tried to expand the universe.
Which one?
The Matrix Online. What? The Matrix.
Oh, you're talking about
Matrix
2003?
Online. Yeah, 15 years ago. That if it had worked, if it had been, you know, better technically, this, you know, they did expand the story. They did create that other entity that rivaled the machines. There was some world building there. It just didn't take off.
See, that's what I'm saying. It didn't take off because why? Because they didn't advertise it and they never finished.
Yeah.
You know, Matrix Awakens. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You're
we
going to
can
build
keep
this
going.
game, but you feel me? You're going to build a game and not finish it. Well, yeah. You know, you got to follow through. And that's what I'm talking about. You know, the whole start-stop, Matrix Online, the NFTs. Nah, that's not it, homie. You got to finish. Matter of fact, why don't you finish before you sell it to us? See how that goes. That might work. You know, I'm.
You must be living in the Paradise Matrix. That's not how it works.
You know, I gotta do my wishful thinking thing. You know, I gotta keep it positive here. I gotta try to speak it into existence and like build in the dream world to make it real in the real world.
I've got some bad news for you about Seraph's wings. Sorry, buddy. That was the previous iteration.
Yeah, he flew too close to the sun and they melted. So Trinity Trap says Kojima directed Matrix would go hard. I cannot disagree with that. I'd love to see this here. Any type of cameo. Yeah, and also you know, I gave them plenty of wiggle room to bring back Cypher in a couple different ways. Mr. Regan, Ralph Cifaretto, you got choices.
Yeah, do we want to riff on thoughts on what it could be about?
That's what I'm saying. Like, without any casting, it's hard, man. Like, you know, like I said, my initial reaction was this idea of some type of prequel before Resurrection space, whether it be like just after the Purge and before Neo and Trinity. But then once I realized that like they don't know what they're talking about with the casting at all, I'm like, right, now we can go back into Young Morpheus area, prequel area. But we could go, you know, let's say if the paragraph means all those people are in it, right? Neo, Trinity, Bugs, the analyst. Well, then, you know, at that point, it's clearly a continuation from where we're going, or excuse me, from where Resurrections was going. But yeah, without casting, it's just we're just throwing darts.
Yeah, I got lots of darts.
Okay, so start throwing them, chucking them. See what we got.
All right. So if we're talking prequel, everybody wants to see more next Renaissance. They want to see the battle. I don't think that they'll do that.
Right. Nobody wants to do
People
that.
want to see the war. Yeah, it's already done in the Animatrix. I know that there's a portion of the fan base that want to see the war, but you know, they gave us enough. I don't think they'll go into it. It's redundant. People want to see young Morpheus. I'm one of them. I don't necessarily want to see it in the big screen, but that's a possibility, especially with the rumors of Michael B. joining the Matrix universe, and when the rumor came out 2015. We
That's an
can
old
spin off
rumor.
with our but I mean, he was red hot at the time, still is.
I was about to say he's
And-
hotter. He's way hotter now.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's people want to see him back in Marvel big time.
Yeah.
So we got the crew of the Nemazine. We can explore their next adventures, and even if Neo and Trinity aren't in the movie, and they're just kind of doing their own thing, fighting their own battle off screen. The crew of the Nemazine can, we can flesh out, we can meet, get to know them a little bit better. And then, hey, there could be other matrices out there, other pod formations in other areas of the planet that have their own matrix with their own people fighting their own battles. It could be
Now,
something
I
completely
really like
different.
that.
It's just in the universe of the Matrix.
No, I really like that last concept you mentioned about there being different like machine cities with different matrices in them. And the reason why I really like that is because of the Matrix comic Goliath. Because that takes place in London,
Yeah, which was a little bit different than the Matrix that we saw in part 1. And there's another comic that mentioned another city. I want to say it was like Denver or something like that.
And Beyond is in Japan.
I mean, it just stands to reason that the Matrix aren't going to ship every human that they find to one area of the planet and have
They have the whole planet.
One pod, one power plant. I mean, they might not even have. So we have the architect. They might not have the architect. They might have some other program with their own matrix paradigm. Without the choice paradigm. It could be something completely different. They could just be running their crops into the ground in a hellish matrix.
Yeah, no, that really opens up the options and the choices, similar or I don't want to say similar, but because I don't want to mislead, but just like how whatchamacallit in the Marvel has the multiverse, so that allows them to play with storylines and do all these different things without changing the original canon, right? Nakano says Cypher coming back as a piece of steak. What's that? Matriculated. Peter Chung created Eon Flux and the Animatrix episode Matriculated. So yeah, there's all types of Eon vibes in that episode. That's a big rumor that, again, as far as I know, the Young Morpheus script is the same as the Zach Penn script. I could be wrong about that, but I think that they are tied together, and I haven't heard anything about that since Resurrections came out, or maybe like a little after Resurrections came out. Probably be the last time I heard any mention of that officially. That was like 5 seconds of the war. That don't count. More.
Yeah, that was just a PTSD flashback to the war. I'd like to see that whole story play out too. Machine Civil War. That's a good storyline. And,
right, and wasn't Niobe telling that story? She's like 90.
Yeah, she was. Or B, as she's now Aunt B.
Right, so she's 90. That makes the kid like in his 70s, right?
Right, which I think the Matrix mystery all of us want addressed is how is it that all of our characters are still alive and relevant in the world of the Matrix after 5.5 decades post oligarchs? That's what we all need to know from this story.
So Zen Connection says the article saying that Goddard is bringing a unique take to the series is interesting. What could that really mean? What was interesting is, I've been having a lot of conversations about this today, but somebody was mentioning that they believe that Goddard is like a fan, like it's going to be like kind of like a fan fiction-y approach. I don't know. I'm that's why before, my first kind of reaction was just this kind of prequel or before Resurrections, not necessarily before the original Matrix film, but before Resurrections on the timeline. But now, like I said, without any kind of casting clues, that really opens it up. So based on the little bit of information we have, if I'm assuming that they don't know whether or not Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss are in it, and as Sion mentioned, they say that they're only going to do it do a future. Didn't Keanu say he's only interested if one of the Wachowskis is directing? So if we factor all these things in, I'm thinking that it could mean that this will be the first live action film that doesn't feature Neo and Trinity. That it could be just that simple.
Yeah, it's mildly disappointing, but show must go on.
So I got mixed feelings about this particular, whether or not Neo and Trinity are in it. And that's why I really thought that it would make more sense to do a series or Animatrix installment or something like that first. So if you're continuing from Resurrections to not have Neo and Trinity, that's why I said it with a question mark in the video, because that's how I was interpreting the paragraph at that time, or in that moment, was that Neo and Trinity are probably not in it, but these other characters might be in it. And I was like, wait, that doesn't make any sense. Let me read that again. So, if it's post Resurrections, I have to imagine that they will at least mention Neo and Trinity. But yeah, timeline is going to matter here.
The last we saw of Neo and Trinity, they were flying through the sunset together. So I think that would be great for the movie, that in every outdoor scene in the city, somewhere in the distance, there's this Neo and Trinity as two tiny little figures looping around, way off, far away from whatever is going on. That's important. Let them have their love story, leave them alone. And now the crew of the Memnazine is going to do their part in the next whatever is the next chapter. I would love to see all the original actors of the crew of the hovercraft back, but if they have to recast or kill off characters because they can't cast the original actors, bring in other characters, I think that would be fine too. You'd mentioned, based on a previous comment, the Matriculated, the final short in the Animatrix. Very soon after I heard this news of Matrix 5, the image came to mind of that lone machine at the shore, just kind of taking over the sentinel duty. But no more machines would come because all the humans were dead. And in a way, that machine was the first sentient, or one. They had others who had joined them by choice, but they also all seem to have been destroyed. So we've got so many storylines, little threads that could be picked up and expanded upon and find out, because there were two sentients on board the Memnazine as well, full crew members, really. So we want their backstories and their part in the adventure as well.
And DocBot brings up a good point here. Second Renaissance will never be live action. Too much gore, and the implications of how humanity was treated would be too much for live action. That's actually a good point. And probably why I, naturally defaulted to the machine civil war. Because if it's machine on machines with, a little bit of, Niobe and human witnessing, that doesn't run into those problems. Buyuka says, I want a series about the 6 ones before Neo, especially the one right before. And I do remember one of those old school Wachowski, what was it? The chat interviews from one of the websites, the original Matrix website. They said that they were certainly interested in exploring stories of previous ones. But so far we have not seen any official exploration of that. Real quick here before we hit the 1 hour mark, because we are quickly approaching, just because I don't know how this rolls out to Instagram. I believe I read somewhere that Instagram only gives us an hour of streaming before they break it up. So if you're joining us on Instagram and it's going to cut us off any minute now, make sure you join us at the Matrix University Discord. I've definitely put the link in some of those Matrix Monday posts, but I know you can't just kind of click stuff on Instagram. So the link in the description should take you somewhere that will have one. But yeah, like I said, right now we are broadcasting on YouTube, X, and Instagram all live at the same time. And that's another one. So, a few weeks ago when I first tried this, I believe like Instagram failed, but YouTube and X were streaming at the same time. That's when we were talking about the Matrix Illuminated in that live stream. Another Matrix University alum, we were talking about his book, and I said I wish I had this kind of reach last time when Resurrections was coming out. So here we are, a few weeks later, and now Matrix 5 is coming out. We don't know what it's going to be called yet. Hopefully someone will leak that information to us. Let's speak that one into existence, because that was fun last time, right, V?
Some of us predicted
Yeah.
Resurrections back when there was speculation if there was going to be a fourth movie. On the Resurrections was on the table, and they picked it. And there was another R, because if they're going to continue the tradition, then it'll be an R. And I can't remember, but we got some good R words. We got rebellions. And
My
if the
prediction
other
was
one comes to
Revelation.
mind, I'll bring it up. That was it. Revelation, the Matrix Revelations.
So so this is are we doing Matrix 5 R word predictions right now? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, and we've got Revelations and Rebellions on the table, and I'd be interested to hear anyone else's suggestions.
I think they'll get away from the R's. New director. It'll
Right.
It could be something a little bit different. It could be Return to the Matrix, as a spin-off of Enter the Matrix.
And that's
So-
open to the Matrix Returns, and it has a theme of someone or something returning. So, lots of interesting options there. Now, here's something. I hope we really haven't lost like a third of our audience or whatever, but I want to try to do I'm gonna blow your mind now that we're past the hour mark.
Yeah. We stopped doing this for the numbers many moons ago.
Okay, but here's the moment. You stayed past an hour or so to blow your mind. What if they embrace the paradigm of working with the AI and deliberately combine writers, like experienced professional film writers, with these large language models, the generative advanced learning, machine learning algorithms, and so that the sentient and the machine and the AI characters in the movie are actually written mostly by what we call AI. Hopefully that's a little mind-blowing concept there.
So because I deal with, some of these generative AI and language models, I guess pretty regularly now, what I would say is that you're probably already, or how do I put this? All right, so in the case where this script hasn't been written yet, you might see elements of that being utilized already, right? But I can't remember what's that dude's name, Jordan Peterson, right? I want to say maybe like a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, he was talking about how you could just tell an AI to write a whole blockbuster movie script and it'll do it. It's like, sure, it'll do it, but it won't be a blockbuster. That movie script is gonna suck. Like the longer the AI is doing stuff, like I said, a whole script worth of dialogue, like it's gonna make mistakes. That's just where the tech is right now. It's not gonna be like that forever. But I think what you're gonna see more of.
I should have mentioned that this particular generative language model would be trained on the Matrix universe specifically.
But what
all information available on the Matrix would be fed to it. But also, it would be a collaborative effort. Everything would be edited. Nothing that was machine produced wouldn't go through the writers.
Well, what I was going to say is what I think you're going to start, because you got to remember part of the strikes, and I still think it's a red herring. I think the bigger part of the strikes was the money, the streaming dollars and all that. Who's getting paid what? But yeah, the AI conversation was part of that conversation. So that's what I'm saying. It's not like these studios aren't going to be utilizing the AI tools. You best believe they are going to, and that's what I was going to say. I think you're going to see it more on the visual, it being something to streamline and speed up the CGI and the special effects and stuff like that. Like I think it's going to be implemented on the back end first, like you said, hybrid though. It's not going to be just AI. The professionals who have been doing this for a long time are going to be overseeing the AI's work. And like I said, I think it's going to be a process. We're going to first see just AI tools being used to make what they're already doing go faster. And then as the technology advances and gets better, then what you're talking about is going to be very real. Like basically what I'm saying is I totally agree with where you see that going. I just think it's going to take a little bit more time to be refined. Like that's what I'm saying. I feel like right now we're still in the pioneer, undiscovered country kind of phase. Like, people are still exploring and figuring things out in workflows and use cases and, what's working, what's not working, what's user friendly, what's really, really like just being a coder and hard to do. Right. And then the next phase is the refinement stage. And that's when you're going to see it really get crazy. And this is why I really think that, B1 trial is a monster, because I think the point of it first is to reflect, the societal lessons that we can learn from the Second Renaissance, right? Because to me that is like really important. But then the next thing is just kind of showcasing that, like I said, I've seen this with the music industry, man. We're gonna hit this point with this AI stuff where the consumer becomes the artist. Period. This is going to happen. How long it's going to take, I cannot tell you, but I've already experienced it in music. This is happening right now. So fan fictions, you can just make that, yeah, I get it. Right now, it's not as easy as everyone would like, but it's getting there, man. Just like I said, just from working on that, the things that we can do right now is already a lot. The things we're going to be able to do 3 years from now is going to be insane. So yeah, I think that, this is a very exciting time. I don't know exactly when things are going to flip in that direction, but I'm telling you, the genie's out of the bottle. Like it's happening. Like that's just where this thing is going, man. And I'm excited for it because, like I said already, for me as a creative person to be able to like storyboard something immediately and share that vision with people and, be able to collaborate just kind of based off of those foundational pieces. You know what I'm saying? Like when we first started this, the YouTube channel 2019, it would have cost so much. I mean, exponentially more to have done that little bit that you see in the B1 trial. And, it's like that Law and Order style. So there's no action or any explosions or martial arts, right? But that's what I'm saying. Like to have animated that 7 minutes in 2019, it probably would have cost a few $1,000s. So yeah, making things affordable and accessible, is going to open up the floodgate for creativity and, new ideas, and not necessarily just rebooting and repackaging the same old ideas, because you don't have to get somebody's approval to make something new. You can just make it. And that's kind of what I was trying to do, is just have this moment to say, hey, look, we can just make stuff. So now just make stuff. Yeah, no, it's an exciting time. I know a lot of people are like kind of nervous, right? Because it's a big change. It's going to change a lot of things for a lot of people. But that's just technology and society and how the world goes, man. So I'm excited. I hope you're excited. I'm definitely excited to see what all this Matrix 5 news is really going to mean. This is so early. We're all team early. But yeah, I'm glad you guys have purchased your tickets to the Matrix 5 hype train, because all aboard, we're going to go for a ride. The alternate dialogue from Cypher script about the recruits of the one by Morpheus that died trying to be a savior. That reference, I don't know. Is that one of those like 1996 or supposed 1997 versions of the script? I don't know that I believe. If that's what that's from, I don't know that I believe any of those early versions of the scripts are legit. Every time I try to check into the source of where they came from, it gets real sketchy real quick. But yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
I agree. I never cared for the Morpheus recruited a bunch of failures. I don't think anyone would have still been following at that point. And the idea was upcycled into there were 5 ones before me. So you can't really have it both ways. And yeah, so that's my take on that. And you mentioned getting on the Matrix 5 hype train. Do we have to go through that tiny little mirror that Sequoia hacked in the restroom to get on the hype train?
Well, that's to get out.
Oh, okay. So that's right. To get on, we just have to open any portal. Okay. Get your operator to open a portal and get on the Matrix 5 hype train. It's worth the ride.
Let's go. Don't get left, because we will leave you at the station. Need more Switch content. Right. The kid as the new general. So, anybody who watched the Clayton Watson interview on this channel knows that he is more than willing to do something Matrix related. In fact, at one point, I believe he said that they had him do like a voiceover, but unfortunately, nothing came of that last round of stuff. I don't know what game that was for. But right, that's him. That's him voicing the kid in the Matrix Online, right? I think so. Pretty sure. Right? I'm pretty sure. Did. I think so. I think he voiced himself in the Matrix Online and the Animatrix. I think so. I could be wrong about that, but I think so. I think he's his own voice in all formats.
I don't think he did in the Matrix Online.
You don't think it's him in the Matrix Online?
I would have to check, but I'm just going off because he. Oh boy,
Well, here's what I will say. Whatever voiceover he was talking about wasn't the Matrix Online. That's what I will say. Whatever voiceover he was talking about didn't come out.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and listen to that episode as well. But I got the impression it was for like another game, like a follow up.
Yeah,
either
like
a Path of Neo 2 or another like Matrix Online. Yeah.
Some undisclosed game that we never got. But beyond that, what I was gonna say is there's a picture, Temet. I don't know if you've seen it. I think you've seen it. It's probably on Instagram, so you've probably seen it. But yeah, I did this this concept art, or I like to call them storyboards, where the kid led his followers back to old Zion. So the idea is that, when Niobe set out to build IO, he was against it and brought people back to old Zion. I thought that picture came out really well, actually. I thought that was a cool, like, in-between storyline, in between the Purge and Resurrections. Some of these comments, man. Oh, wow. I didn't even see that. Thank you for the super chat. Who was that? Okay, how do I put that on the screen?
Shogun.
I'm
Shogun Orta.
Did that just happen? Oh, I'm way behind on the comments. Got it. Shogun Orta, thank you for the super chat. It says about Morpheus killing his previous recruits. That was what was that when Cypher tells Trinity that they're going to kill him, referring to Neo at start of Matrix 1? So yeah, in the first Matrix, he does say, you know we're gonna kill him, right? So I felt
That's
like that could have
because
been
he's over the
different ways.
age. He's 39 years old, which is over the age that they usually, because the mind has a hard time letting go. That's explained. So yeah, you got
brings
some
it.
matrixologists, you got some neologists here.
That brings a whole like extra layer to the line when Neo's getting ready to throw up and he says he's gonna pop.
Yeah, that was basically Cypher saying, "I told you so, Trinity." This is exactly where he's not going to be able to handle it because he's too old to handle the awakening.
And the truth is going to make his mind explode. No Diddy. So I hope to be the Catrix.
No, thank you. No, thanks. I'm a hater.
I thought the Agent Gold Catrix was pretty cool, though. I thought he did a good job with that. So yeah, I don't want to put you guys in shock with too much good news. We are well beyond the 1 hour mark. So yeah, I'm not sure if Instagram is still going or not. But yeah, this has been exciting. Oh yeah, Instagram stopped, but can I show this on the screen? It looks like Anthony Brandon Wong was in the Instagram live. So shout out to you if you could still hear us. And if you were there, that's like totally awesome.
Ghost.
Yeah, the ghost. We got Catrix live on the screen.
This is binary. See, she has a 010 on her face, and she's half glitch kitty and half system kitty. So her name's binary. She's watching herself up on the big screen instead of watching camera. But here's your Catrix for your cat fix.
Hold on. See, where else can you go to get binary Matrix kitties and actors from the Matrix all in one? There's only one spot. This is it. You found it.
This is it.
The bottom of the rabbit hole. And I want to thank all of you for all your support, for hanging out, for taking the yellow pill, and for keeping the faith, because we're getting more Matrix. Like I'm still processing everything, I think. But yeah, man, this happening.
Hey, what a nice surprise.
Yeah, no, it was a very pleasant surprise. 2024 was kind of sucking.
I had to I had to check the date. I think they gave us a full 24-hour buffer from April Fool's Day. I did a double take regardless, but coming off the 25th anniversary, which we didn't get much. We didn't get much from The Matrix or Warner Brothers. Did we get anything?
Franz, yo, did I show you V? Like the they posted yeah, I think I showed you.
Post like highlights or something?
It was like a clip. Yeah, it was a clip from the first one. It was like Morpheus in the dojo or something like that. But that's what I'm saying. Like the view count on that thing was like it was so low. Like I said, I get it. YouTube is struggling right now. Short form content, TikTok is killing them. I get it. But for a channel that large with 3 million subscribers and for it to only have like 1,000 views or something was crazy. On the anniversary of The Matrix was like, whoa.
25 years. So that's a big deal. We got it happened at land on Easter, which has that biblical reference, and a couple days later we get this announcement for part 5. So very cool. Can't wait to hear more.
Yeah, that's so wild too.
Revival. They'll continue their religious theme. It'll be the Matrix revival.
Okay. I forgot the other thing I was gonna say, so I might as well comment on the revival thing. So right, so if we're going back to our words, right? So if we're going straight biblical, the last book is Revelations. But what I was gonna say, which is what I used to call revolutions all the time. But what I was gonna say was, if you're going full meta because you have a new director, you could go Matrix Reimagined.
And it's
Oh.
got the R.
Right. Now, this is what I was going to say before. The comment on the screen. John Warhol said, "First time I saw the news, I legit thought it was a late April Fool's joke." Yeah, no, I think they knew better than to go the April Fool's route. That might have started a riot.
Oh, that would have hurt. That would have hurt.
Right. That's cruel and unusual punishment right there. But
I
yeah,
would
no.
have shared that video of somebody breaking their Matrix Online 3-disc collection set.
It was cool though that the anniversary fell on Easter Sunday, and the last installment was Matrix Resurrections, and Easter is Resurrection Day. So yeah, thanks. Shout out to Trinity Trap. I'm glad you kept this channel going so long, and I'm glad you guys have hung out with us for so long. We can't do it without you. And yeah, man, it's been a crazy journey, this whole channel situation, from the Matrix 4 being announced, to the Resurrection title being leaked, to simulation theory. Like, I mean, I get it. I'm excited for the next thing, right? But there's legitimately a short with an actor from Resurrections doing a voiceover on his channel. Like, it's crazy. Like, when I look back at it, it's crazy. Or even just the intro to the live streams, right? Like all the different interviews and like shout outs. It's been a wild journey, man. But yeah, hopefully the train is getting ready to leave the station again so we could do it again. And now that we have all this experience and more friends and more diehard Matrix fans, we can do it even bigger than we did it last time. Right. So Ben, I don't see Ben. We got to get up with Ben. I know Ben's on Matrix University Discord, because Ben was talking about when's the next party. Ben's trying to party. Well, now we got a reason to party. So the next thing is to find out when this release date is, because that will tell us when we can party again. I think that's how that's going to play out.
I think we're looking at a 2027, 2028. I think
Right.
it's going to be a long, slow journey.
Right? You think it's going to be a slow drip, right?
Yeah, he's got some projects. I didn't even check it. Jessica Henwick, who in my mind is the leading contender for the lead role. I haven't checked her IMDb, but if they're just starting to write it, just signing on to write it, I'm sure they've got drafts, but it's going to be a while.
Yeah, you're right. As far as Jessica Henwick, right? Because they were low key selling it like she was going to be the lead role in Resurrections at one point.
And when we got the announcement for Resurrections, or Matrix 4 at the time they called it, they gave us Keanu Reeves and Carrie Ann Moss. We have a director right now. That's it.
Wait, run that by me again. When
they announced the Matrix 4, they said that it's going to be Lana directing and Keanu and Carrie Ann returning as Neo and Trinity. So we got 2 actors, 2 characters, and the director.
And
now right now we have only a director.
Right.
So I think it's going to be a while.
Shogun, thank you for the super chat. Shogun says, let me get it on the screen here. Yeah, Shogun says, my only thing against Matrix Revelations is it might turn religious folks off. Oh, if they use that particular R word as a title. I hear you. Now, flip side, though, I would say one of the things that makes the Matrix so, I guess, globally impactful is the fact that it remixes or mixes so many different theological concepts together. So it's not like just like this hardcore Christian movie or this hardcore Muslim movie. Like it's not, you know, tied to one faith, right? It's kind of bringing them all together in a way. I thought that was always one of the things that made this particular franchise unique. But yeah, man, I'm just excited. Like I said, I'm more excited for what it means for the community and, you know, people caring about the Matrix. You know, like I said, 5th installment, I'm not having any specific expectations. And to the point that you just made, we don't have the casting details, so it's very hard to even assume any story or timeline details. But the fact that we know something is coming is better than the nothing we were looking at. Because it was looking like it was gonna be a whole lot of nothing.
You know, for Resurrections, that whole trailer drop was epic. It was epic with the billboards. You know, it's gonna come in a couple of days, and then we got a teaser, and then we got the full trailer, and then, you know, we had to dissect it. Like, hey, every time I watch this, it's different, and everything that got put into that with the, you know, the different time, you know, the time of day. It was epic. So we're gonna get more of that. We're gonna get something completely cool that we're not even expecting.
So yeah, Franz says that's the best part of the Matrix is the theological concept. So for me, I think that's one of the things that makes it resonate with so many people. The way that it hits so hard are those elements. But for me personally, I think the best concepts are some of the more hidden ones, and the one that I'm thinking of right now, just the hybrid nature of Neo. I always kind of I don't know, something about that part of it, you know, him being able to experience both sides, I thought was pretty cool. I think that, I don't know, that might be the best single element for me in terms of it standing out from other pieces of work. Dodge this.
This crew deserves their own movie. I want to see what they're made of. I want to learn who they are. Put this crew back on the ship and send them out past that big force field that protects Idaho, out where it's dangerous, and, you know, give them something important to do. So that's the movie I'd like to see. Make it about the characters. Tell a good story.
So yeah, no, speaking of force field, I'm definitely interested in, you know, seeing Carrie Ann Moss use the force in the Acolyte. While we wait for more Matrix 5 details, that's like, that makes it, you know, the Acolyte that much more sweeter for me now, because before it was kind of like this bittersweet thing, like, oh, this is going to be a show with Trinity, excuse me, a Jedi doing all the things that Trinity can do. But now I won't be so bitter about it. But yeah, John Warhouse says Matrix 9 straight out of Zion. I like that. We might have to make that a t-shirt. Oh yeah, Fran says, I thought I would drop by. I gotta sign off and go to bed. Bye. But it's good to see you. And yeah, it looks like we're going to be doing more of this, because it looks like there's going to be more news to report, which is always fun and always great. Is there anything that you guys want to say before we bring this live to a close?
Thanks for tuning in. Enjoy it, and thank you for hosting again. Can't wait for more.
The Matrix seems to be over. Neo, I believe.
Right, belief. Turn up the belief. Yeah. So again, thank you all for hanging out with us. I do think we still gonna have to wait a little bit, but the fact that we know there is something coming is that light at the end of the tunnel. It might be a long tunnel, but it's great knowing that along this journey, you are not alone. So if you haven't already, make sure you go to X and support that happy 25th anniversary Matrix tweet. I'll put that back on the screen real quick here. Because, you know, we're trying to have a conversation with the Wachowskis. And on that note, class is dismissed.